Hey guys, how's it going? Being rained on is not the same as taking a shower, guys, because that's just the planet pissing on you. But welcome back to Diary Overlord. I haven't done one of these for ages for Black Desert. So pretty much I'm just gonna go over what I'm doing now, as of there's been so many changes since the last video. My node network is kind of don't really care what the heck's going on with it, really. That's kind of like nothing in my Valencia part has changed, so I'm just gonna go from right to left because I think the right side is much more simple for me currently. Nothing's really changed on this side other than that, like, that's still the same as what it was in previous videos. I lost my Lake Falls water spot, so I'm gonna be a bit thirstier now, unfortunately, but the amount of water here is not enough. There's never enough purified water. Alta Nova, I have absolutely nothing here. With the emergence of bartering, I actually started gathering some of these other materials that were previously unused in olden days when bartering did not exist. So I do collect cotton yarn from here. I do actually want to pick up like flax and other things as well, but I don't really have the CP for it right now, and I don't even know where it's all gone. So whoopsie doozies. And I have all these, like, I picked up these two nodes again for like the maple timber and the white cedar timber and the sap, because those are all worth something now, as well as the old tree bark. Acacia just for the crates to match with the white cedar, otherwise the white cedar is kind of pointless for me, and same with this as well. So that's probably where a chunk of my CP went. This is probably about like 13 or 15 points here by itself. Heidel itself is kind of more of a central hub for me now. I've sort of have, it's just like capped out with 158 is awful, but whatever. Other than that though, this is like pretty much my metal storage, and all these crystals are now kind of used within bartering, so they no longer useless. They're also used in alchemy, so also not useless. You know, this maple is all taken over here still. Glish is still reconnected, and I've taken up this lead swamp now just for the powders of time, because I somehow ran out of this stuff, even though there's like a couple million of it on the market. A bunch of lead ore also for bartering, and then over here excavation just for the traces as usual still. All these things have stayed the same. I lost Lynch Ranch. I no longer getting fleece. That might be a bad thing, I'm not really sure. But then I picked up pumpkin nodes. I might drop this because I already have vegetables from paprika up here by Olvia. No, olives by Olvia here, a whale farm, and paprika over here in Calphion. Calphion, I've actually connected a few nodes here just to pick up some stuff. I'm not exactly sure why I picked this one up. It's probably for the trace of battle on this node here for this excavation, because I do need it for something else that I can't quite remember anymore. Because I've been doing other things and be busy work, so not really much of anything. I'll figure it out eventually down the road. Trent itself, I also expanded some nodes northwards here just to get the traces of violence and the despair, as well as for the fir timber and fir sap, because I figured I might as well just pick it up since I have the node and it's already all the way down there, and that'll just help reduce some costs. And I can also pawn off like the fur itself because I don't really use the fur. Oh, that's weird. I also have a silk honeygrass node here. I don't quite remember why I have this, but I'm also gathering silk honeygrass in this corner. So yeah, there's that going on as well. Most of the Kama Sylvia in my world hasn't changed at all. This has completely remained the same, other than that I do not have the Lake Flondora knock ore node here for that powder of earth, and the ore is now useful for bartering as well. Polly's Forest, I've reduced it down to only Polly's Forest itself. I used to have it all the way up to Weenie Cabin for the red volcanic mushrooms, but I no longer kind of do anything with that, nor do I have enough time allotment in my free time essentially to get around to that, on top of all the hoarding of materials that I have that I'm continuously exhaust but never fully exhaust, which I should get around to doing sooner or later. And Dregan, I lost my residence down here, so that was about 8 CP because I haven't visited down here for a long time. Eventually I probably will reinvest back into Dregan when those infinity potions and resource pot thing comes out, when I start chasing after it. But other than that, that's my world currently. I've also connected Port Etheria temporarily just for the sake of transporting barter goods around without by reducing the cost by basically not paying triple the amount, and also reconnected Margoria back into the mainland as well as Ilya is also connected, but I honestly don't fully know why. Oh, that was just for trading, so that was just the dump off, like gathering stuff, and that's why I have that connected. I do want this connected to Valencia at some point, because I do need to move all these boxes that I have in Grana that are just periodically being made all the time now, because I have processing stones to keep that workshop going infinitely essentially. Just got to remember that I have to process once in a while just to keep the materials flowing there. I don't really try to get more than just one guy making boxes, because that would require more CPU into other workshops, and then I have to process a bit more. And even then, I'm already running out of material to process because it processes so fast these days. And that's it. So apart from that, it's also just been bartering non-stop, trying to get the 4 refreshes, pushing for a Carrick as fast as I could. The mark of time frame is about 31 days so far, and I'm about 2/3 of the way into a Carrick. Based on my own progress and spreadsheet there, it's about 31 days almost, about 2/3 of the way to a Carrick. I've already gotten all the gears other than this one sale that needs to reach plus 10. That's gonna be some aids of fail stacking that's trying to like make a pen, because trying to make plus 10 of the blue gear is actually quite insane for the chance and the amount of attempts, and it takes memory fragments to recover, so it's quite expensive. But overall, it's this has been getting faster and faster. The strategies around bartering are being faster and faster, because I've just gotten so used to doing it so much that yeah. So at about like 31 days, I've kind of managed 8,700 ish, or 8,400, because I started at 358 before I marked this from the beginning of stream right after New Year's. So it's about 8,300 barters. Technically this should be about like 9,000. I kind of slacked off a few days, but I have been going pretty hardcore at it. But now that I'm busy for like the next 10-15 days or so with a second job, so I'm working like 6 to 7 days a week again, it's gonna be pretty rough trying to fit all this in together, because right now it's just trying to barter off as much as I can, and then basically pick up all these as much as I can and drain as much parley down to about 200k, 150k before I give it up, and then refresh 4 times before the refresh timer for the refresh resets, and at the same time get all my Imperials dunked into Olvia or Heidel or Calpheon, depending on whichever I can sell the fastest before the end of the day. Flip my farms probably once a day, feed my workers, and then AFK fish either at Ilia or Okila Eye, and make sure I get the dailies done for the Okila Eye so that I can progress on my Carrick every day. And that pretty much takes about an entirety of maybe, I want to say 2 hours. 2 hours, that's pretty much as much free time as I can squeeze. Other than that, I start sacrificing sleep, and then I lose more time the next day, which is not good. And considering my work of like 9 to 10 hours a day, doesn't really leave much time for BDO currently. But other than that though, progression is still actually quite high, on an average of 250 to 400 mil a day on this casual 2 to 3 hour play. Apart from that, it's quite a bit of a mental mess just plowing through it, but I've done it routinely like so often that it's actually not too difficult. Like right now, for example, I'm just taking the ship to grab these 4 lavas here, this thing here that's already like 20, 40, and then like 60 mil up here. Then as well as gonna grab these stones, and then I'm probably gonna start heading back towards the island over here, AFK, while I go cook dinner and so on. So you know, that's how it kind of goes. That's not actively like paying attention here when bartering, which is really nice for the casualness. And then also when I have to process boxes here, I process them at about like 70 to 75 in the inventory at a time, which takes about a 4-minute interval. So after that, it's like if I run out of material to box that, then I just plant myself in Velia and I start crafting for like a good half an hour to an hour or 2 hours even, and then periodically check every 20 minutes or so while I get other things done. And that's how my BDO diary overlording is going about these days. On top of the events that I'm trying to cash in on, is a bit hard. That's rather impossible. Especially with the Marnie stone things going on with Marnie's seals. I don't have any on me right now. That probably ends in about a week, and I still got to get my Guardian to 56 for those level up rewards, and I've only got this weekend to do it. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching and paying attention to the splurge of the overview of what the heck's happening in my world now. Other than that, it's not really like maximum efficiency. I don't really care as long as I'm just having fun and I'm not frustrated about it. So yeah, other than that, gains have been coming around slowly and but surely, and it's just progress on gears right there. So I don't really care much about other gear, and that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now. Stupid Earth raining all the time, pissing on all the people. Everybody just accepts this.